2, 3, 4.
Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this, our 49th episode of the Good Morning Guys podcast. Thank you so very, very, very much for joining us on this very fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we continue discussing the game of life amidst the other games we love to watch and play. I am one of your hosts, the recently missing Brazilian mountaineer and transition ninja Lucas Ham Swisher.
Buddy's back.
With me, I'm back, baby. With me, to my left or right, the judge, jury, and executioner of fake news and spoilers, Patrick Novacell.
Good evening.
And to you as well. Also with us in the spirit only, the volleyball beast in the east who can make you laugh in 3 words or less, Ronnie Johantis.
Hi, I'm Ronnie.
Hi.
Sounds legit. That second one definitely sounded legit.
Nailed it.
And our final member of the GMG Quadfecta, the man with music in his heart, Doctor Who on his brain, and La Coretta in his stomach, Marc Boucher.
Bonjour.
Enchanté, my friend.
Mes amis.
Folks, mes amis, French fries, French toast.
Wow.
Yes.
Did you know?
If this is
Did you know that French fries aren't actually French?
They're not. No?
No, they're cooked in
fake
grease.
news.
Hey!
I love that. I love that one. That's a good one. Hey, folks, if this is your first time joining us, well,
Ta-da!
I don't know. Welcome.
You don't
That's
know?
all I got.
It's
Been so long. I don't know what to say. I mean, I'll be honest. I'm surprised I even knew what episode it was.
I was surprised as well.
Even on the little script that I wrote, because I don't have very much on my script, it's almost Ronnie levels of just a little bit. It says 46th episode of the Good Morning Guys podcast, which is the last one I was on. And you know what? I caught it, and I did not say it. That would have been way off.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? If it's your first time joining us, well, we're glad you're here. If it's not your first time joining us, well, we're glad you stuck around this far, because we're almost to 50. Half a century of podcasting.
That's not how that works at all.
Dang it! That's not half a. Wait, no. Century is
Half a centennial?
Is 100, right? Wait, what's a century?
Yes,
100 years?
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess
so
it would be
50. If episodes were years, it's half a century.
Episodes
There you go.
were
There you go.
years.
Quantifying it.
Yes, I quantified it. I
I'm
did it
sorry,
out of
but our
order.
next episode is 385 hours.
That is not correct.
But it could
with
be.
that being said, it could be. You never know, especially when I'm involved. Let's jump right into what's what's new news, starting with me. Since I haven't been here for just a hot minute, I have a few things to share, but I already updated you guys, even though you missed some of my updates since someone doesn't like me and just deleted my voicemails that I worked so hard sharing with you.
Yeah,
That's
that
okay.
second voicemail, I'm sorry, I could not find it. Just couldn't.
Uh-huh. You know I gave you 3 voicemails, right?
Yeah.
He is aware of this.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, for those that are new listeners, I'm a missionary in Brazil, and I have been in Brazil for the past 3 weeks, 2 weeks, somewhere around there, 2.5 weeks, I think. And I've just been in the northern and the northeastern parts of Brazil, which are pretty much almost two totally different areas. One of them is kind of the eastern edge of the Amazon jungle, and then the northeast, where I've been in this past week, is it's kind of like a semi-arid place that can be kind of a mix between New Mexico and I don't know, a place that has more green things than New Mexico has, because New Mexico's kind of desert-like. It just depends on here in the northeast. Man, my tongue. I'm not used to podcasting
Shake
anymore.
that rust off.
Shake it off. Yeah. So when they don't get rain, they look like New Mexico. When they do get rain, they look like green New Mexico. So that's how I'm going to explain it. And I've just been here with a group of Californians. I know, it makes sense in my head. I'm here with a group of Californians hanging out. It's been great to just hang out with different cultures between northern Brazilians, ribeirinhos, which are like villagers that live along the Amazon River. Like we had a couple days where we just got in some boats.
What was that word again?
Ribeirinhos.
It just sounds like you're trying to say hillbillies and you have like a speech impediment.
I mean, ribeirinhos. Yeah. I mean, they're kind of like Brazilian hillbillies. They're very secluded and they kind of just live in their hills. They just have a big river.
I thought he was talking about somebody having like a hippity nose.
What's a hippity nose?
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Oh, ribeirinhos. I hear it now.
That was bad.
You'll make a good dad someday.
Dad joke.
With those dad jokes. And then, of course, Californians. And, of course, I've run into a few large spiders and some little monkeys.
Yeah, are you okay?
Yeah, we're all good.
Good.
They have not.
Did you pack away those flamethrowers?
Yeah, I did. I unleashed. Actually, I didn't have to. The one time that we ran into a large spider inside of a church, a man with a cane came over and just started beating the crap out of a large tarantula and smashed
He's smart. He has a weapon.
Yeah, he has a weapon. He was prepared. It was not his first rodeo in the jungle, so it made things very interesting. And then this past week we came to the Northeast, and we went to a city called Santa Cruz, and they have a huge statue that is actually larger than the Statue of Liberty and larger than the Christ Redeemer statue that's in Rio. And her name is Saint Rita. In Portuguese, she goes by the name Santa Rita. And, it's a pretty cool statue. It's a very large Catholic statue that we visited. But our main purpose for being there was kind of supporting a church down there with the Nazarene Church that is probably 7 years old. And it was started from just a group of 90 teenagers spending a week in the city, kind of just visiting with people and sharing truth about God and, doing all kinds of compassionate ministries. And then some local people just kind of got their attention and they started a church. And so we were there to kind of just be a part of that, to get to know the church. We did a little kids event with some of the kids in the neighborhood, where actually they started a church in what used to be a brothel, and they bought it. They tore down all the walls, and now they use it to pretty much be a shining light in that community.
That's
one
crazy.
thing that was, it was really crazy when they told me the story, just pointing out these rooms were used for what they're used for, and we bought it. We tore down the walls, and now we reach out to those same people and we show them the love of Christ. And so it was really inspirational to hear that and be a part of it. And of course, during our time with the kids, we did everything from play Simon Says to share Bible stories. At one point, one of the guys in the group started acting like different Marvel characters, and the kids were all yelling out, guessing, kind of like charades, like, Spider-Man, the Hulk, this and that. And so at one point, I'm like, I'm going to do a different character. And I started doing Hawkeye, doing the arrows and stuff. A complete silence. I was like, no love for Hawkeye. And eventually somebody, I think a kid said it after what felt like 10 minutes. I think it was only 5-6 seconds, but they eventually got him. But it was really cool. And, and that's what it's been all about, is just kind of intersecting with the lives of these kids. And that's really what I've been up to this whole time, over these past few weeks, just kind of watching the U.S. culture and the Brazilian culture collide. And there's nothing quite like it. I don't know if you guys have, for those of you that are listening, how often you encounter other cultures, but I want to challenge you to find a chance. If you go to a church, participate in mission trips. If you don't, travel, encounter other cultures, because it's something you just kind of learn the best and the worst in people, but at the same time you find out how many cultures in this world have stuff in common with us. Our differences do not outweigh our similarities. And so it's really cool when you get to see that happening.
That's
happening.
Cool.
So yeah, no video games for me. No gaming update. I have watched zero television. Wait, I take it back. I did watch some of the Pan American Olympic Games. Not Olympic. The Pan American Games. I don't know if you guys have heard of that or know anything about it. But
No.
yeah. So I guess it's like the prequel to the Olympics. So in the off 2 years of the Summer Olympics, they have the Pan American Games, and every, I think, region of the world has their own like qualifying for the Olympic Games. And so that the Pan American ones include North, Central, and South America. So we watched that this past week we stayed at host families for a few days, and U.S. got number 1 and Brazil got number 2 in the medal count.
Oh, nice.
So that was really cool.
Nice.
Just to be with the Brazilians and watch those competitions and like everything from, table tennis to judo, swimming and all that jazz. So it was good times.
Cool.
But other than that, that was that's it for me. And so let's turn to Patrick.
Hello.
Tell me something good.
Well, this past week for me was quite a bit different than it has been the past 6 weeks. I didn't play much Apex this past week. I decided to take a little bit of a break. I played. I probably played a couple nights with Marc. Marc and I played one night, and we were not having the best of luck at all. I mean, usually when we're playing, we get the top 5. We maybe win one, get second place, top 3, things like that. And get some kills. But it was just game after game where we were the first 5 squads dead. We couldn't get any kills. We couldn't get in good position. It was just a bad string of games. And usually when I play Apex, I play until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. It was 11:30, and I told Marc, I was like, I gotta go. I'm gonna get off, otherwise I'm gonna get too frustrated with this. So
yeah, it was every place we dropped was a hot zone. It was ridiculous.
It was crazy. Yeah. So that kind of made me okay, I'm not gonna play Apex. I'm going to do some other things. So I went upstairs and I was talking to the wife, and I was like, "What are you watching?" Because I wanted to get a little bit of a palate cleanser, and she started watching this show called Fixer Upper, and it's I think it's an HGTV show where this Christian couple go in and they fix up houses that are torn down. They're really ugly. They're from the 70s, or they really need updates, and they buy them for $90,000. And this the couple that they're buying them for may have $150,000 that they above the price of the house to do updates and upgrades. And the couple that hosts the show, they are hilarious.
Yeah,
the guy he makes so many jokes, and his wife's just is silent and smiles. Pretty much on her face, you can tell she's "You're an idiot."
Yes.
But it's it is I've seen other fixer-upper shows, and sometimes they can be a little negative. But this was the first show that I watched on the fixing up shows to where it's almost all positive, and to where I'm actually laughing. Marc, have you seen this?
Yes, I've seen it on many occasions. I'm very well familiar with Chip and Joanna Gaines.
They are awesome, right?
Yeah, they're great. They have blown up. They have built themselves an empire of that kind of stuff. I'm trying to remember the name of their company. But they actually that show's in syndication now. They actually ended Fixer Upper. But they are getting their own channel. That's kind of a division of, I think it's the Discovery Channel or something like that. Is basically funding them, giving them their own channel.
Wow.
But they have their own line of products. They have their own books, all sorts of stuff. They have certainly made it an empire, but they're honest Christians. They try to do everything and do everything positively, and do it for the Lord, and they always point back. So that's always been
cool.
A really cool thing. So
yeah. So like I don't watch that kind of stuff. But for whatever reason, that show like drew me in. So we watched some of that. We watched more of The Boys. I think we are 6 episodes in. There's only 8 episodes. So we're getting towards the climax of the show. So I can't wait to watch the last 2 of those. And then I watched a ton of movies this past week. The first one that I watched was Brightburn.
Oh,
that
yes.
is the Superman style story, but in a horror sense. It wasn't really good.
Oh
no,
it wasn't.
Patrick, would you believe me if I told you I read the Wikipedia story?
You did. I mean, like the story.
The story actually sounded really cool.
It
is. Once I found out it was horror, I was like, I'm not gonna watch that. So I'm gonna read the Wikipedia. It was kind of a cool story. I liked it.
It was a cool story, but it was too much. There was a scene. I'm gonna spoil this because this isn't really a.
It's not worth it.
A spoiler-ish kind
Spoilers!
of movie. Yeah.
Spoiler
so I'm about
alert.
to spoil
Spoiler
part of the
alert.
movie. So like they it's the same story. This spaceship crash lands. A farmer couple finds them. They raise him as their own. He has superpowers exactly like Superman. And there comes a point, I think he's like, I don't know, maybe 11 years old, and he starts getting more and more powers, and he realizes that he is drawn towards like the dark side, kind of. And so he like, as soon as people find out about him or cross him or say they're going to tell his parents or tell the police on what he's doing or whatever, he kills them. He just kills them in like graphic form. And the dad is on to him like immediately, but the mom just doesn't want to believe it. And so like later in the movie, they find out that he's killed like multiple people. So his dad takes him on a hunting trip. And this son, he's looking at deer tracks and he's kneeling down. And the dad, who is like Roy from The Office, he just gets out his rifle and then gets cocked and shoots this Superman character in the back of the head. And it's just like, it's Superman. So the bullet just ricochets off the back of his head. And then the kid turns around, and then like Roy, he's just like scared as all get out. And his son just like kills him in like another graphic form. I'm like, man, this movie is way too much. Like I think it was rated R, and it didn't need to be. They didn't need to show all that graphic imagery. It was. I like the story of Superman becoming bad, but I just didn't like the way they told it. Not at all.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it seemed really, really senseless. And
I would say it's maybe a 5 out of 10. It wasn't. Yeah, if me as a Superman fan, it was kind of cool to see a different story, but it wasn't what I wanted.
Now going back to The Boys real quick, where I know last week when we talked about it, the first episode was like senselessly filthy. Did it continue that trend, or did it get any better?
It has kind of shifted a little bit, because right before the episodes start, it'll give you like warnings and ratings, and it'll say like violence, language, sexual scenes. They'll say nudity, and then as the season has gone on, like some of those have like just fallen off. So the last episode we watched was just language and action. So it is there's more of the story now. It's more of not like unnecessary scenes to get people to shock and awe value, to get people to like get drawn in. And once they drew people in, now they're getting into the story, and they're not worried about all that, those scenes that aren't necessary.
See, can't stand that.
Yeah, I know. It's a total turnoff for a lot of people because of all that.
Yeah.
I just like there's scenes where, like I said before, my wife and I turned to each other like, really, was that necessary? That did not push the story along at all. Has no value. But overall, the show is really, really good. I mean, it's like it is immersive. It engrosses you. It's cool. So I'm looking forward to see if I'm assuming one of the superheroes is gonna die, in the end. But I'm not sure. Maybe one of the main characters. I feel like there's gonna be a death. There's gonna be a main death somewhere. So I'm looking forward to that. So after that, I watched Detective Pikachu.
Okay.
I know
Pikachu!
nothing about Pokemon. Absolutely zero. I know Pikachu. So actually, I know more than zero. I know Pikachu.
You know, 0.1.
Yes.
Other than that, nope, no idea. But going in and watching that, not knowing anything, I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed the heck out of it. I don't have anything else to say. Like, there's no like a lot of the fan service that was in the movie. I have no idea what it was.
It was meaningless.
I'll have to take a look at it. I'd have to watch it and see how it is. I mean,
yeah, I definitely will be checking it out.
I would say that was like an 8 out of 10 movie. I really enjoyed that.
Nice. Man, it might have been 10 out of 10 if you had watched some.
I bet. I mean, like,
Pokemon.
if you're a fan of it, you might have. I mean, well, I guess it really depends. Like, if you're a fan of it and it doesn't give you the fan service that you want, you may not like it. But who knows?
I may have to check it out and come back next week.
Okay, and then last two movies that I'll talk about is I watched this movie called Source Code with Jake Gyllenhaal. It's from 2011, and he goes back in time for 8 minutes, and he only has 8 minutes to figure out how this train blew up. So he has 8 minutes, and once that 8 minutes is over, he goes back into the regular, normal, present day, and then he has to go back in and continue to search for this bomb and the bomber. It was a really cool way they did it. The ending was awesome. I have nothing bad to say about that movie. I can't believe I've never seen it before. It was straight up my alley, so that was cool. I really liked that one. And then I watched Death Wish with
Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Yes. I told my wife about what the movie was like, and she's like, "Nope, that's not for me." So I watched that one by myself, and that was it was cool.
That's actually a remake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
From a long time ago.
Yeah, I think it was got to be like the 70s or 80s, something like that.
Is it a new remake? I don't know anything about it, so
pretty recent.
So Death Wish is basically his Bruce Willis's character is a doctor, and he's got a wife and a kid, and the kid's about to go to college, and he's off performing surgery, and they're home, and their house gets burglarized, and the wife dies, and his daughter is in a coma, basically. So he goes to the cops. The cops pretty much they can't do anything really in a overall sense. So he takes it into his own hands to hunt down these burglars and kill them. So it's just him just going on a killing spree and learning how to shoot a gun and things like that. Because as a doctor, he doesn't know how to do any of that stuff. He's never had to. So, I mean, it was okay. It was okay. I'd say it's another 6 out of 10 kind of movie. It was just like one of those things you turn your brain off while it's on kind of thing. But the last movie I watched this past week was Dora the Explorer.
Oh, the Explorer. Real quick, why don't they call her Dora the Explorer? It would sound so much better. Or call her Dora.
Don't they? Do they not?
Explorer. Well, they call her Dora.
Dora
the
Explorer.
Yeah, that's not what they were going for.
Let's hear it. Now, wait.
What's that?
Okay. Yeah, I was just going to say, you need to give us some context. Do you know anything about Dora?
So Dora, I know that she I know she has a talking backpack, talking map, a talking monkey. I know that she speaks both English and Spanish. She teaches how to say certain things in Spanish. And she lives in the jungle. I mean, that's basically what I knew of her. I never watched an episode. My daughter was never into Dora. My son's not. I never watched any episodes. So I went to go see this movie. It was basically a Uncharted movie for kids. I mean, that's basically what it was. I mean, like she went to find this lost city of gold and going from like one clue to the next. And it was strange. Like for me, like when I was watching it, I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like I don't know. Like was there certain scenes where there were callbacks to the TV show? I kind of felt like there were some because they like stopped. And like the camera kind of looked, and there was like silence for a second for effect, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, that was definitely part of the show. Like she would say something in the show, so she'd say, "What's that called? Can you tell me?" And then it was a show that it would wait for you to respond, like wait for the kid to respond on the television. So they probably did it in the movie too.
And there was one exact scene in the beginning where they're all sitting at the table and they're eating like breakfast, and she says, "This is delicioso," and she looks at the camera and she says, "Can you say delicioso?"
Yep.
So they pan
That's what the cartoons,
and right? The parents are like looking around like, "What?
What are you talking about?
What's happening?"
Who's supposed to say delicioso?
And then Michael Pena, he's the dad, who was awesome in the movie.
I bet.
He's like, she'll grow out of it. And like, I don't know, maybe 5 seconds later, he's like, "Delicioso!" And he looks behind him, seeing if he could find someone. No one was there. Oh man. But then,
so
the rest of the story, like she moves to America to go to school and go to high school, and while her parents are looking for the lost city of gold, Parapata. I don't know if Parapata is like an actual place or not.
It could be. They usually try to base the stuff that they do on the show on fact, so but it's possible.
Every time they said Parapata, I was like, Parapata. Parapata.
That kind of sounds like an Ewok in Star Wars.
Kind of reminds me of Shikaka.
Yeah.
Now that would have been quite the crossover for Ace Ventura to show up in the middle of Dora the Explorer.
But yeah, I mean, like overall, I laughed. I went into the movie with very, very low expectations. And when you see something, when you are expecting nothing and it exceeds your expectations, you're like, wow, that's not bad. If I went in there like, this is going to be the greatest movie of all time, and it ended up being mediocre, that is going to change the result for me. But when I went in there with nothing and I laughed, Michael Pena was fantastic. The girl that played Dora, she was hilarious. She was like positive all the time, and everyone was like, why are you so positive? Why are you smiling? Why does everything have to be a song? Like everything was a song. There was a speaking of a song, so they were in the jungle, and one of her friends had to go number 2, so she came up with a song for number 2. It was hilarious. like why are you singing about poo? Oh man, yeah, it was. If your kids like Dora, they would probably love this movie.
My daughter didn't really she didn't watch it a whole lot, but both my kids watched Dora and Diego enough that they probably would, and I watched it enough with them that we would have definitely appreciated. And I think the other thing about the show that's really cool is that it talks a lot about Hispanic and Mexican culture, makes references to Spanish stuff. And so my wife even would probably appreciate the humor and a lot of the stuff that happens in the movie.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, like they had, they spoke Spanish like quite a lot in this movie. They even had subtitles at certain points in the movie. Which was cool because I wasn't expecting that. I thought they were just gonna speak English and then, but I don't know anything about Dora, so
right.
But it was cool that they had subtitles. But yeah, there's a twist in the movie that you saw coming from a mile away.
It is a kids movie.
Yeah. But there were. I was having a good time watching this movie, but there were two things in this movie that I couldn't wrap my head around. So two of the characters in Dora, one is Swiper. He's a fox.
Yep. Swiping.
That's right.
And then there is a monkey. His name's Boots.
Yep.
And he's like Dora's best friend. And so throughout the entire movie, Boots doesn't talk. In the show, he apparently talks, I'm assuming.
He does.
But he did not talk in the movie. But Swiper, he's like the bad guy. And he was part of the bad guys. And the bad guys talked to him. And the fox talked back to him. And no one thought this was weird. And there was one point where he was the Swiper was guarding a door. And he was singing. And one of the other guards was like, stop it. It was so weird. And then towards the end of the movie, Boots starts talking. And Dora is so confused. And then she asks, you can talk? I don't did no one hear? It was like
you're asking this movie to make sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works.
But there was also one point in the movie where they come across this all these flowers, and if you touch them, they let off like a mist or a dust of something, and they made everyone hallucinate. They hallucinated so much that they turned themselves into cartoons. So for the next couple minutes, there was the Dora cartoon playing out as they were hallucinating, which was hilarious, by the way. What else in that movie? Yeah, I mean, it was overall it was good. I mean, I enjoyed it. I would if I would have watched Dora, I probably would have rated it higher. But this movie, probably for me, was a 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 Michael Peñas?
9 out of 10. Yeah, Michael
Burritos?
Delicioso!
Para patas.
That's pretty good. I'm definitely going to have to check that out with the kids.
I enjoyed it.
Forget, did you watch it by yourself or watch it with your kids?
I took my daughter. Yeah,
of
course. You
didn't want to be
so excited.
A grown man.
I was like, I'm gonna go because I wanted to go see it by myself. I was like, I'm gonna go see Dora tomorrow. She was like, can I come? I was like, yep. I don't want to feel weird when I'm seeing it by myself.
So explain though why you did it, why you went.
So we reached 30 reviews.
Yep.
And my crazy thing was to go see this movie and provide an honest review. I was going to make it its own singular spoiler cast and write everything down, but I thought that would have been way too much.
Too crazy.
That would have been too crazy.
We're not there yet.
Maybe next go around I'll watch something else. Maybe
go.
I'll go see High School Musical 4 or something. I don't know.
Good Lord. How many High School Musicals are there?
I don't know.
There's 3 of them.
Are there 3?
But who knows? Nowadays, they like to bring stuff back.
Yeah. The reboot.
You right.
But yeah, other than that, and all that movie watching I did.
Patrick the Movie Man.
The Bengals started, the NFL started this past week. Heck yes.
Woohoo.
From now until February, there's going to be football every week.
Glad to hear it, man.
Nice.
That's about all she wrote.
Who is she?
Marc. I don't know.
Best to leave that unsaid.
She wrote it. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Thought maybe Mel writes down Patrick's script for the show and he just reads it off.
Now, honey, repeat after me.
Like, hey,
Mel
can you remind me what I did this week?
Yeah.
I'm going to podcast tonight.
I don't remember. Help me, please.
You know what I usually do is I go through my photos in my camera on my phone. I'm like, what did I do this past week?
What did I do? Yeah, photos help.
And then I go through my text messages. I'm like, all right, what did I do?
What did I write?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Marcus
Maximus.
Oh, okay. So my week was not too eventful. We did have some things going on, but a couple of crazy things actually happened at my work. So one of the technicians, he was test driving one of the vehicles, which the customers had brought the vehicle in early that day, and we were having a lot of trouble opening up the hood on it. And we're like, man, this thing's messed up. And they were talking about it a little bit, and one of the technicians went to test drive the vehicle, and he got on the highway, and he's going like 55 miles an hour, and the hood goes flying up.
Oh no, like Tommy,
a movie.
Like out of Tommy Boy?
Yeah,
that is crazy.
Tommy Boy, yes.
Yes.
It completely cracked the windshield.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Was this a new car?
No, it was not a new car. But still relatively, like maybe 3 or 4 years old.
That's like a new car to me.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's kind of scary. But he made it back and he was okay. But obviously
that has got to be the scariest thing in the world.
Yep.
To be driving 55 miles an hour and not see.
Yep. I'm assuming he pulled right over afterwards, but that's still really scary.
So.
He's like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going straight.
I'm just gonna put my head right out the side window, just like Ace Ventura. Get this thing going.
Second Ace Ventura reference of the episode. That's impressive.
That is correct. Jim Carrey, if you're listening, those are free plugs for Ace Ventura. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're welcome.
Alrighty then. But yeah, the second much better and awesome thing, not crazy, was the fact that we basically broke a record for sales in the service department. For the month of July. So the owner of the company actually set up a food truck to come by our work. So we got free breakfast and free lunch today.
Nice.
Breakfast and lunch?
Good times. Yes, indeed.
Very nice.
Money.
So I had me some eggs and some bacon and some, they're like fried, cut up potatoes. They're not wedges, but.
As in fried potatoes?
Yes, I guess you would call it that. In a manner of speaking. But also some toast. Just a classic breakfast. And
do you put anything on your toast, or do you just eat it dry like a weirdo?
Well, I had butter on my toast, so I am not a weirdo in that regard.
All right. Not totally a weirdo then.
I prefer peanut butter on my toast.
Yeah. Speaking my language.
Mm-hmm.
Jif, right? That's the only real peanut butter.
I don't mind Jif.
Pronounce GIF.
Oh, stop. I'd like some GIF peanut butter, please.
No, sir, this one's got a J. And then good old-fashioned cheeseburger and fries for lunch. So that was really good. And it was especially good when it was free. So that was definitely nice. I also got to introduce a new game, which I believe I have talked about briefly on the podcast before. But I finally purchased the retail
Bingo
copy
burritos.
of it. What did you call it?
Chipotle burritos.
Chipotle burritos.
Bingo burritos.
It's not bingo burritos either.
Bing bong burritos.
I wish it was actually called that, but no.
Bing bong. That's the sequel.
That's the sequel.
No, it is called Throw Burrito.
That's what I said. It was,
of course,
another language. Bing bong is Swahili for throw.
Parata.
Oh, is it?
For shakaka. Yeah.
But no, it is a game from the makers of Exploding Kittens or Vomiting Cats, however you'd like. And so basically the premise of the game is each person gets a deck of 15 cards, and they have to set that particular deck to their right. And so it's set up in such a way where there is a deck to a person's left and a deck to their right. And they have to have a hand of 5 cards from that deck that they originally got. And so you're always picking up a card with the right deck and putting down, like discarding from the left hand. And what the point of the game is to each of the cards have like different little characters on it, and you're supposed to get 3 of a kind. And so like some cards are 1 point, some cards are 2 points if you get 3 of a kind of each of those. And that's
now are the ones that are lower point value, are there more of those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so basically you're trying to discard in order to pick up and try to find matches to get, 3 of a kind. And there are certain cards that initiate battles between you and the other players. And in the game there are 2 like squishy looking burritos, and they're kind of made of the same material as like a stress ball, so they're like very rubbery and squishy. And you set them in the middle of the table, and there's 3 different kinds of battle cards. There's Burrito Brawl, where the person to the left of the people to the left and the right of the person who called the battle immediately have to pick up the burritos and try to throw it at the other person. First person that gets hit, they get what's called a burrito bruise, which means they get a negative point. Yeah. And then there's Burrito Duel, where you literally pick 2 people. The person who called it gets to pick 2 people. They have to duel. They have to face back to back, take 3 steps from each other, turn around and throw the burrito at each other, and whoever gets hit first loses. Gets one of those burrito bruises. And then there's also Burrito War, which is basically a free-for-all. Anybody who grabs it first and can throw that burrito at another person, whoever gets hit, they get one of those bruises. And so when all those bruises are handed out,
you go to the hospital.
Yes.
Because you're hemorrhaging from all the bruises
everywhere. No, Lucas, there's a reason why the burritos are squishy.
Right. Gotcha.
Yep. And it's not because they're real burritos that have been sitting in the box for forever. But anyway, so yeah, basically at the end of the round, when all the bruises are handed out, whoever has the most matches wins that first round, and then you play again. And whoever wins that first round, they get this like little badge, and it's called the Fear Me badge. And basically it's this big old cardboard thing, and it's got a picture of a burrito with like muscles, and it says Fear Me on it. And so basically if that person wins again, they win the game. If another person wins the second round, they have to duel each other with the burritos, and whoever gets hit first loses. So, I got to play that with my family, who I play Exploding Kittens with quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
They had a great time with it. Played it with my youth group. They absolutely had a wonderful time with it. They want us to play it. Unfortunately, we don't have youth group next week, but the following week we need to play this again. So, obviously, I've got a hit on my hands.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Nice.
So, obviously, next time I meet y'all in the flesh, which hopefully is sooner than later, Lucas. Looking at you. Yeah.
Looking right back at you.
Next time we all meet up, we need to play this game. because it's awesome.
Sounds good. Patrick, did you take notes so that when Mark explains it, you'll actually be able to do it the first time? Correctly.
I can only imagine I'm just going to throw the burrito all the time.
Yeah,
and he's going to throw it super hard.
That's correct.
But, other than that, obviously I played plenty of Apex. Excited for solo mode to drop. It's a limited time solo mode event to drop tomorrow with some new skins for different characters. That look really cool. There's a Wraith skin that they actually put out that I am super pumped because that's my character that I play with a lot. So I'm really excited for that and to see what kind of stuff they do with it. But that is pretty much it for me.
Cool. You know, I forgot to tell you guys something.
Really? What did you forget?
I went to the beach today.
Did you?
You did?
Yep. And I got to ride around in some buggies.
Interesting. I'm smelling a transition cooking, and I love it.
These are both true things. I went to the beach today with the group from California. And we rode buggies all over the place. And it was really fun. You know what else starts with B?
Really?
Birthdays, our topic of the show. I pulled that one right out. That was not even planned.
You know what else starts with B?
What's that?
No, I'm just saying what you said.
Oh, okay. I was like, you got something else that starts with B? I thought we're just going to play that. I don't know if that's a car game or whatever.
7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
That's right.
Nice. So before we actually get into the topic,
it's too late. We've already made the transition. There's no going back. If we travel back in time, we're gonna make an alternate universe, and then there's no telling what's gonna happen.
If you say so. Well,
no, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
You say so.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna argue.
Boucher. You know what else starts with B? Boucher. Go ahead.
You right. Which I totally could have said this before the transition that you made and could have really helped you out, but I didn't, and so here we are. So I have an announcement that I kind of teased on the Discord, a big announcement, somewhat, I guess.
Big announcement, somewhat big announcement.
Yes.
I'll take it. Let's hear it.
So in a couple of weeks, it's actually my birthday coming up. And so, hear ye, here is a proclamation. An invitation, if you will, from Marc Boucher. You are hereby invited to a birthday party. Yes, that is right. A birthday party. And it'll be live on Twitch. I'm dusting off the old Good Morning Guys Twitch channel. And
it lives.
Yes. And I'll be streaming on my birthday. I'm going to stream a little bit of Apex Legends, of course. And everybody listening is invited to jump in on the stream, jump in the chat, if you will. Obviously, I would love some squad mates. So if you're able to come, that would be wonderful. And of course...
When is this?
This is, of course, on my birthday, which is August 29th. And it is at 9 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/thegoodmorningguys. So I hope to see y'all there. And yeah, we're going to have some fun. We're going to have a birthday party.
All right.
Cool, man. I will be there. I'll probably be... What? What day is it again? the 20
that is
something.
Thursday,
Man,
August 29th.
I'm the worst. 29th. I will be in Indiana, but I will definitely have Twitch open on my cell phone or computer or both.
And that is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Fantastic.
I believe is like 7 in Indiana, I want to say. But I can't remember.
I think they're on the same time zone.
We're right on the edge. Fort Wayne, Indiana is right on the edge of the time change, so we're
Isn't that still Eastern?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, then 9 o'clock.
Still Eastern. 9 o'clock. I'll be there.
All right, then.
Yeah.
But anyway, so obviously our topic is about birthdays. Every person who is alive has one. Am I right?
That's real news.
That's what I've heard. Some people miss their birthdays.
You're right.
They still
so, first thing I kind of want to start with is, do you have any specific memories of birthdays in the past? Like maybe when you were a kid, or maybe a favorite memory, just your favorite birthday in general, or whatever. And Lucas, go ahead.
All right, fantastic. I think in one of our past episodes, I talked about my favorite birthday already, so I'm not going to mention that again. Instead, I'll give a runner-up. I would have to say it was my 16th birthday. I was actually singing at a church with in the church that I grew up in, some churches have districts, and our district was called West Virginia North, and which is where I'm from. And we had a choir that was made up of just a bunch of high school students throughout the state of northern part of West Virginia. And we would travel around on the weekends probably once or twice a month. And we were at a church, and we sang, did our little concert, testimony times, church service. And at the end of it, someone said, "Hey, Lucas, can you come help me with something downstairs?" And I walked downstairs, and all of a sudden I got a huge surprise, happy birthday, Lucas, I don't know, all that stuff. And it was the first time I can remember, at least, having a totally, out of left field surprise birthday party. And it was just really cool because at that time in my life, when I was 16, my best friends were, for the most part, were people that I went to church with, that were a part of that choir, people that I knew from all over West Virginia that I hung out with, every other weekend. And so they were all there. My family was there. Friends were there. It was just a really cool time. And I really like surprises. My wife does not. So I don't get to plan any surprise parties, but I'm all about surprises. So that was probably my second favorite birthday party.
I don't think I've ever had a surprise birthday. I can't think of any time I really had a surprise party at all. But one day might happen.
Hopefully you don't see it coming.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. Patrick, do you have a favorite birthday memory?
Yes, I do. So it was my 21st birthday.
Spring break, woohoo!
The 21st birthday is a big deal. It's a huge deal. It's the first time that you can drink alcohol legally. And so my buddy, still best friend, Chris Pennington, said that we were going to go downtown to this place called GameWorks. I think it might have been called something different at that time. But it was a place where there's arcade games. There's the skee ball and basketball and, the normal arcade place. That's a bigger place. And he's like, "We're going to go down there for your birthday." I'm like, "Sweet. I'm going to get some drinks there. Going to play some games. This is going to be fantastic." He's like, "Well, before we go there, we have to stop over and pick up Jimmy." And so we go over to his house, and we go over to her neighbors. No, what was his neighbors? I can't remember which house it was, but we get in there, and everybody was in there, and they yell surprise. And
Nice.
It was a surprise birthday party. So at this point, I'm like, so we're not going to GameWorks? Because I wanted to go play some games.
It's like, thanks for the surprise, but I kind of wanted to play some games.
Yeah, exactly. So, but it was a big surprise birthday party. They had, all my friends were there. So, like I've told you about my younger days and the friends that I had and the trouble that we got into and the idiots that are my friends and who I was back in the day. And one of the presents that I got from one of my friends was a roadkill. There was a dead goose that they had picked up and put into a garbage bag and gave it to me.
Wow.
I was like, what?
Something.
That's disgusting.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
I mean, it was a present that I couldn't use.
So what exactly did you do with that? Did you just immediately close it back up, or I would have probably thrown it at him?
No, it was heavy, so I was like, nope, I'm not. Nope. So
nope.
Yeah, they gave me that, and then they gave me a bottle of Jack Daniels, which was my first venture into whiskey. And I had the entire bottle that night.
Oh my.
And that's all I remember.
That is one way to start out 21.
Good night.
It's kind of like a rite of passage to not remember your 21st birthday.
So that night you turned 21 and your liver turned 45.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
My liver is probably like 135 by now.
All right. Methuselah of livers.
But yeah, the 21st birthday, it was the biggest thing was like the surprise, because like Mark, you said you've never had a surprise. That was my only surprise birthday party, which was a total surprise because I think I had the blinders on because I was like, games, games, let's go. And so when we're like, all right, we're gonna go pick up Jimmy, I'm like, okay, cool, let's go pick him up.
Nice.
And then surprise. So that was cool. I really like that one.
Awesome.
What about you, Mark?
Yeah, I think I have a couple of favorite birthday memories. One favorite birthday memory was actually there's an arcade very similar to the one you were talking about, Patrick. Is a place. It's kind of like it's got an arcade. It's actually got like a mini go-kart track attached to it. It's got I think a roller coaster inside of it, and it's called Fun World. And it's about a 10-15 minute drive from my house. And we had a birthday party at Fun World, and it was awesome. Got to play arcade games, play skee ball, all that kind of stuff. And then of course they have tables and stuff set aside for parties and stuff like that. It's just a great time. And what shocks me is the fact that this place still exists. Fun World is actually there to this day and still gets business, which is incredibly amazing in this day and age to have arcades like that still exist.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for sure.
But I absolutely loved going to that place, especially for my birthday. Another favorite memory I will actually get to in just a second, but I wanted to mention a couple of comments from our listeners. And so first and foremost, when talking about birthday memories, Tim Paullin, our buddy Tim Paullin,
hey Timmy,
he actually mentions his favorite birthday memory is his 21st birthday. He says, my dad and I spent the weekend in northern Minnesota fishing. Went to my first casino where we had steak and my first legal drink, Winky Face.
Nice.
And then also Terrajacked on the Discord. He mentions, on my 16th birthday, I had a 16-hour-long birthday celebration where we had 2 TVs set up with Halo and 1 TV set up with DDR.
Oh, man.
It was a great time. That sounds like a wonderful time.
Awesome.
That sounds amazing.
Yes, it does. Both of those sound good.
Awesome.
I mean, 21st birthday, having your first legal drink and going to a casino, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, I mean, playing games for 16 straight hours. I mean, it doesn't have to be your birthday.
No, for sure.
Nope.
I remember for one of my friend's birthday, I was playing Halo 3, I think it was, for his birthday, but my birthday's like 2 or 3 days later, so I felt like it was our birthday party, because that year he got me a Xbox 360. But man, we played Halo 3 all night long. We played multiplayer. We played I think it was called at the time Griffball, which was a version.
Griffball.
Which a version of Kill the Man.
Yes.
No other name it goes by. Kill the Man or Griffball, that is all. And we played that a lot. I think we played through most of the campaign of Halo 3, and it was magical. It was good times. So I'm with you, Terrajacked, in the Halo multiplayer. It's amazing.
Man, I remember when I used to have birthday sleepovers, too, where we would be up all night playing video games and stuff and eat junk food and stuff like that. And actually, another one of my favorite things about birthdays past is the dessert. And so my mom, growing up, she was really good at decorating cakes. She actually had her own business for quite a while. I think I've shared on a previous episode that my mom was actually a professional clown. And also and she would do birthday parties and stuff. And actually part of that business was making cakes for kids for birthday parties and stuff like that. And so naturally, I got my own special birthday cakes every year that were themed. And pretty much the cake was usually a reflection of the theme that my birthday party was. Like I had a Batman birthday party, a Power Rangers birthday party. I think one year we did Superman. One year we had wrestling. And so my mom designed, like, I had a cake. It was like one of those cakes where it's like the mold of the cake. And you basically have to just the lines are there for you. You just have to kind of decorate it.
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah,
back in the day,
we had several of those, and my mom would decorate it, and she did a great job with it. I think one year was Power Rangers, one year was Batman, one year was Superman, one year my favorite wrestler was Sting, so I got a Sting birthday cake.
Sweet.
Yeah. So I used to always love when she would make birthday cakes, especially because she would make the frosting and she would make it in these little bowls, and I would steal the bowls and just eat the leftover frosting out of it. And that was the best part. But yeah, when it comes to birthday foods, which I'll shift there. Yeah, I've got to have some sort of a cake, birthday cake. In recent years for me, it's kind of shifted to there's this caramel frosted cake that you can find at Kroger, which is a local grocery store. And I absolutely that's part of my birthday food experience, because food's a big part of birthday celebrations.
It is,
of course,
for sure.
So do you guys have a particular birthday dessert or a food that you have to have on your birthday?
Well, for the past few years, my birthday dessert of choice, Mindy makes for me, and that is peanut butter pie.
Ooh.
And oh man, when it melts in your mouth, and just sometimes she does a graham cracker crust, sometimes she does an Oreo crust. It varies every year, but sometimes you just drizzle some Hershey syrup on it, and man, that is some tasty goodness. I love me some peanut butter pie. I've discovered over the years that I'm more of a pie man than a cake man. I still appreciate a good cake. Like I don't know if Dairy Queen, are those called ice cream cakes or ice cream pies? I think
it's
cakes.
Ice cream cake.
Yeah, ice cream cake where it's got like the crunchy in the middle and it's got vanilla and chocolate. During college, Mindy's mom, she went on this streak where for every single birthday, whoever it was, she would get a Dairy Queen cake And so every birthday that we would have with her family, with that side of the family, when I was dating Mindy, we had Dairy Queen cake all the time, ice cream cake. So I kind of like those a lot, even though sometimes like I either get brain freezes easily or my teeth. I'm kind of like Ross from Friends, where he's like how he has sensitive teeth.
That's me.
I'm the same
too.
way, and I have to just I have to like block off the ice cream with my tongue so it doesn't touch my teeth and let it just melt a little bit before I can, crunch up the crunchies.
I know that move.
Yep. So makes me feel like an old man, but I enjoy it that way.
Now, are there any like particular like a birthday dinner or a place you want to go, like a restaurant or something like that?
Maybe.
Patrick, do you have one? We'll come back
blanking.
to you.
How about you, Patrick?
Going back to the cake, I'm not a cake guy. I am a cheesecake guy.
I really feel like cheesecake is a pie. I don't know. Why don't we call it cheese pie?
Doesn't have as much of a good ring to it.
I mean, you compare that to a peanut butter pie, and they don't look that different. But anyways.
No, they don't. I mean, both of those, peanut butter pie or the cheesecake.
Cheesecake is awesome.
Those are just so good.
Now, do you do plain cheesecake, or do you like to put a certain fruit on it?
So normally I just like it plain.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll throw some of the cherries or the strawberry
the red
filling on it.
Mm-hmm. I'm hungry.
But yeah, but as far as dinner goes, no, nothing. I mean, like one of my favorite meals is Salisbury steak, and my wife makes that on occasion. But I mean. No, I don't have like a particular place or a food or a dish that I want, because like every year I'm like, okay, I want fried chicken, or I want to get steak, or I want breakfast for dinner or something like that. It really depends on what I'm feeling that week.
Variety is the spice of life. I like that.
Exactly.
Nice.
What about you guys?
Lucas, have you thought of one yet?
I mean, I guess recently the birthday restaurant of choice there's actually two, is either Outback or P.F. Chang's.
Nice.
Because I think when you, especially when you live away from all your friends, we have friends and extended family here in Brazil, but it just, when you're away from the people that you've celebrated your birthday with most of your life, you get a little nostalgic. So I tend to just want to go to an American restaurant or an American style. Not that P.F. Chang's is it is an American restaurant, but it's supposed to be Asian, I guess.
That's a good place.
It's Americanized Asian.
Yeah. So along with Americanized Australian food.
Yep.
So yeah, those are probably two restaurants that I lean towards here in Brazil.
So I kind of like to milk my birthday for all it's worth.
Birth week. Happy birth week.
Not that much. Although it ends up being that way because we end up going, celebrating with different sides of the family and stuff like that. And
Nice.
Not to mention, my dad's birthday is the day before mine. So we kind of loop both of our birthday celebrations together a lot of times. But when I say I like to milk my birthday as much as possible, I mean there are several restaurants that will give you free food on your birthday.
La Carreta?
La Carreta actually is not one of them.
Boo.
But we'll come back to that. Back to that. No, there's if you look it up, type it in on Google, birthday, restaurants, free stuff on your birthday, there is a list of different things. Either you can go in and they'll give you a free sub or a free some sort of entree. There's actually a Japanese steakhouse here in town that will give you free dinner on your birthday.
What?
Wow, nice.
That is nice. I am jealous.
Yep, but if you Google it, there's a whole list of restaurants. There's a lot of places that will for example, Dunkin' Donuts, which is my favorite place to go.
Hey, sugar.
Yeah. They give you a free iced coffee on your birthday. So that's awesome. If you're signed up for their rewards thing, which is really easy to sign up for, they give you a free coffee, which is awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, I try to go around to different places, or at least I have in the past, tried to go around to different places and try to get as much free stuff as possible.
That is high level gaming the system. I like that.
Mm-hmm. In terms of a particular restaurant, no, not really. There's not a particular meal, but it's got to be some sort of, like I said, in recent years, I've got to have the caramel frosted cake, which is really good. But yeah, I have to have some sort of cake. And yeah, that's usually the main thing. Now, going back to La Carreta and other restaurants, I just wanted to mention that there are certain restaurants that celebrate your birthday in different ways.
There are.
And La Carreta, which I've actually gone to for my birthday in the past, they will, number one, they will give you a nice big old sombrero to put on your head.
I think it's crazy. You get to keep that, right?
You do get to keep that.
That's crazy that they just give you a sombrero.
Yep, they got a bunch of them, and they just anytime somebody's got a birthday, and you always know when it's somebody's birthday because they will immediately break out into the happy birthday song in Spanish, and they clap as well, and so people at other tables will actually start clapping with them, even though it's totally not their birthday or anything involved with them. So like my family and I, somebody said, Feliz cumpleaños a ti, Feliz cumpleaños a ti, and we'll immediately just start clapping. So, but other restaurants do it in different ways. I know, do you guys have Texas Roadhouse where you are?
I worked at Texas Roadhouse, my friend.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know what they do.
I mean, I knew what they did, but it has been 8 years since I did what they do, and I do not remember, but you can refresh my memory. I know we line danced.
So they have a little saddle kind of thing.
Okay, West Virginia Texas Roadhouse did not have a saddle.
Did they not? Okay.
We were not that cool, apparently. Okay.
Yeah, they have, at least at the ones here, they have this like horsey type saddle type thing. They actually have you sit on. And then, of course, like, they yell out, like, here, Texas Roadhouse, we do not sing the happy birthday song around here, but on the count of three, I need you to give me a big old yee-haw. And so they do that. I know Texas Roadhouse will just randomly break out into line dances, but I don't think that's specifically for birthdays. But
I still have nightmares about the line dancing, for sure.
But yeah, there are other places that make up their own happy birthday songs because actually the happy birthday song is copyrighted. So
that's true story.
So a lot of places can't use the song.
Yeah, I think at Applebee's. I also worked at Applebee's as a waiter, and I think we would come out clapping, and we'd be like, it would sing something like, "Happy, happy birthday! We're so glad you came. We hope it is your birthday, so you can go to Spain." No, that's not right. I just made up something. No, well, it should be. It started like that, and then I do not remember because again,
I hope you can go to Spain.
That was 10 years ago that I worked at Applebee's, so the memory and dementia has taken over.
Going back to our listener responses here about this topic. So one super listener, Chad Fackler.
Hey, fantastic Fackler.
He mentions homemade angel food cake has always been a favorite of mine, but But the past few years, and you'll like this, Lucas, I have been asking for a pie.
Yes.
And it's from a place up in Toledo called Schmucker's. Fresh pies made daily, so good they'll make you want to come back for more.
Yum.
That sounds good.
Pie.
Pie.
And then Alayeni EQ, I hope I said that right.
Hey, Alayeni EQ.
Her name is, I guess, Alayeni Silvermist. Interesting. Hello. She says, my grandmother used to make angel food cake from scratch. It was always such a treat. And
I love me some angel food cake.
My mouth is watering from all this angel food cake pie talk.
So Travis Popsicle on the Discord, he mentions, the older you get, the less that they matter, that birthdays matter, he says. My mom has always made it special for me. March 2nd rolls around, and there's always a present sitting there waiting for me. And up until recently, every single birthday, I had stuffed shells for dinner. I have since switched to steak and cheeseburgers.
Watch your mouth, Mark.
What kind of steak?
Steak. It's steak, you see.
Patrick, you might have to bleep that out.
I didn't hear anything.
It's steak and cheeseburgers.
Oh, right.
I think with most of us, it's just another day, and usually we end up working. I'm glad my birthday is in March, and it's not close to any major holidays. My sister's birthday is December 20th. I feel like she kind of gets the shaft every year.
Yeah.
What is the coolest...
You can't compete with Jesus.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's very true. What is the coolest cake you had for a birthday? Travis asks.
Coolest.
I don't know if I ever had a cool cake, but my mother-in-law, she loves to bake, and she uses this stuff called fondant. I don't know if you have ever heard of that.
I am not a fan of fondant, I'll be honest.
No offense
to your mother-in-law.
It doesn't taste the best, but it allows you to mold, edible stuff onto cakes.
Cool shapes and statues.
Yeah, really cool shapes. So we always go to her whenever we want like a themed cake to be made, and she's always done one for our kids for their birthdays. And one of my favorite ones that she had ever made was for Clark. I think it was for his second birthday, maybe third, maybe fourth. I don't know. It was one of his birthdays. It was a construction site, and it was made out of like heath bars, and was like the dirt, and cool. There was like a mountain of like different icing that kind of led up, and then she put on construction, trucks. Bulldozers and dump trucks and things like that on top of it. It was really well done. It was probably one of I would say the easiest for her because of all because construction it's all messy anyways. But it was so well done. It was really good. She made other ones like a cowgirl one for Claire. She made a Wiggles one for Claire. She's made some really good ones. So for me, I don't think I've ever had one like that. And, usually I would just get like the sheet cake, from the local Kroger, like Mark said. But yeah, the best ones I've seen are for my kids.
Nice.
Well, that also transitions to the first birthday cake I thought of, that just comes to mind when you talk about birthday cake is actually a birthday cake that I made for Natasha. The last year we lived in the U.S., and this is back in 2012. Natasha turned 2, and she was a big fan of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And one of the characters in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, if you have kids or watch Disney kid television, there's a little character that goes by the name of Toodles. And so I decided to make Toodles, and I used a bunch of cupcakes, icing, and just kind of I kind of smashed the cupcakes together into the shape of toodles and put it on a plate, a big tray, and then I just proceeded to use all the colors of icing and made toodles for Tasha, and she was elated just to see Toodles.
Nice.
And we were elated to eat him because I made some pretty good icing, if I say so myself. That was very tasty. I like cream cheese icing, so that's, of course, what I made. She was 2. She didn't really have a choice. So what happened?
You got someone behind you looking in.
You can see them. That's Nathan. He's one of the guys in the group. You guys totally
hilarious
threw me
and
off.
Creepy.
Yes, yeah, because it was all fuzzy, right?
You got a very active room right there.
Yes, it's very active between this creaky chair and the pastor coming in and out. It's very active. People in the hallway. So, anyways, so I made that for Tasha, and then the only cake I can remember is my mom made a Cookie Monster cake back in the day, and I don't remember if she made it or if she had my grandma make it, but it was a pretty good, like, it was straight out of like the cartoons or whatever. Like, it just was a good look. You've seen those pictures of like people trying to make, characters and stuff for their kids for cakes, and they're amateurs, and like one eyeball's bigger than the other, and like they're misshapen and stuff.
It just reminds me of those like nailed it
Oh,
pictures
yes.
on Facebook.
Yes, exactly. So this cake
Nailed
this cake was actually good, and I remember like in from my memory like seeing Cookie Monster, and it was cool. I don't remember when it was. It was probably my 4-year-old. That's when my memories first started. It was when I was 4 years old. So probably my 4-year-old birthday party. But that's all I got for birthday cakes. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, all my mom's cakes that she used to make. I think my favorite one that she made was probably the Batman one. No surprise there.
What?
Yeah.
Really? Are you sure
it wasn't? No way.
Surprise! You sure it wasn't Superman?
Yep, I'm 100% sure.
You know what? I don't think I ever got a Superman birthday cake.
What?
That is sad.
I'm writing this stuff down. Mark, you're getting a surprise birthday party someday, and Patrick, you're getting a Superman birthday cake someday.
Nice.
If you can pull both of those off, thanks.
Challenge,
you are the man.
Challenge accepted.
I think my mom also actually made an actual like Dragon Ball. Like if you've ever seen
the anime,
the Dragon Balls from the anime Dragon Ball Z.
Mm-hmm.
She just took like a typical round cake mold and actually designed it to look like a Dragon Ball, which was really cool.
How do you cut that without making a huge mess? Like it's a ball, so like you cut one part and it'll just like flop off.
No. It's not like the actual shape of a ball.
Oh, okay. That's what I was visualizing. I got you. It's like a circle.
No. Yeah, think like a circle sheet cake kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think she got that crazy with it.
Circle what cake?
Sheet cake.
Okay, just making sure I heard that right.
Sheet.
Bleep.
Yes, she made a circle bleep cake.
A circle bleep cake. Mom, I want a circle bleep cake for my birthday this year.
Love me some bleep cake.
That bleep cake's bleeping good.
Now, Travis actually mentioned something in his comment. He actually mentioned something about birthday presents that he received. Do you guys have a favorite birthday present that you have gotten over the years? Whoever would like to go first.
While I think about it, there was one time I got a video game from my wife. And my wife has only bought me 2 video games in my life. 2. She's gotten me God of War 1. And she bought me, most recent game she bought me for my birthday was Batman Arkham City.
Nice.
And like for me, like she knows like if I like a video game, I'm gonna buy it. But those are back in the day where like I was just using GameFly or Blockbuster's rental monthly thing where I would play games. And, it was cheaper for me with how many games I play. So back then she had the more opportunity to buy games for me. But yeah, I want games. I want game stuff for my birthday, but I never get it. You know what I mean? But it doesn't, for me, like, it doesn't matter because I'm going to get the games that I want regardless. But when someone gets me a game for Christmas, birthday, whatever it is, it means that they know that I like games. It means they know who I am. I think those are the two things I could think of right off the bat that were my favorite because I don't get games, and when I got those, it was special.
Yeah, absolutely. Lucas, you got a favorite birthday present?
So I'm finding that presents are like between Christmas and my birthday, for whatever reason, they're like running together. So each present I think of that I really liked is like, that's Christmas. And then I'd think of another one, that's also Christmas. I'm like, dang it. But
Happy Birthmas.
Yeah, pretty much it. Birthmas. That sounds weird. Anyways, probably because it's not a word. Actually, my best and worst birthday present, and I'll explain why in a second, is tickets to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yes.
Why was that bad?
So let me give you the good part first. The good part's obvious. Trans-Siberian Orchestra is awesome, and they were doing I'm trying to remember what the timing of it was because my birthday's in March, so it was totally out of left field, and so I didn't expect it. But my wife got tickets to go see them, and they were touring at some point later on in the year, or maybe they were touring. Maybe it was like right at the end of the tour, at the end of March. I think maybe it was the next weekend. And what happened is that I got sick. And I didn't just, I just didn't get sick like, oh, here's a little sinus infection. It was like, bleh. Yeah, like blah and like your whole body is just like aching, and I felt like death. Like it was the worst part. Like it was the only reason I would have missed the concert was because of how like was feeling like I was dying, and I unfortunately felt that way. So I never got to have that experience. Like we didn't get a makeup date. We just missed it. We missed the tickets were bought. They ended their tour, and then just life happened, and we never got to make up the concert. So I guess I'm wrapping my best present into my worst. It was like best in theory and an idea, but it was the biggest surprise, and I didn't see it coming, and then it was the worst because I actually didn't get to receive it. So sorry for the downer story. That's kind of sad, but that's what came to mind for my birthday.
Honestly, I'm trying to think what my favorite birthday present. I guess I would say the most recent favorite birthday present in recent memory is my wife actually bought tickets for us to go see what was probably for me one of my dream concerts. For some that may, for some who listen to the podcast that may know, I am a fan of both Lifehouse and Switchfoot. And in a strange turn of events, they went on tour together, which I never saw coming. And yeah, they went on tour, and my wife bought tickets to go see them.
Very nice.
And,
that is cool.
And that was like a never thought this was going to happen, and I'm so glad we got to see it together kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah, that is cool, man.
So it was really cool. I was not sick for that event.
So happy. I'm happy for you. So very happy. Not bitter at all.
Well, I hope you one day get to see the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Me too. Better late than never.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably end up crying with joy.
Now I know what I missed the last time.
Yep.
But going back to listener comments, Corey Fouch, a.k.a. Corey Smith.
Hey, Corey.
He mentions, he says he agrees with Travis's comments there, that birthdays aren't as exciting as you get older. He says, I agree.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, there's the you reach your teenage years, you're 13, and then 16, 18, 21.
Mm-hmm.
And then after 21, there's no really like big milestone for you.
25,
like, for me,
you can rent a car.
Oh man!
Yes.
Tell you what.
Oh, looking forward to that.
That was awesome.
But as I get older, I don't really care for presents. I'm more looking for time with family, time with my kids, or time to do something. I don't really care if I get presents. Like, I like when my kids give me a birthday card that they have created themselves out of paper. That is the best birthday presents that I can get. My daughter gave me 36 cents out of her piggy bank because I was 36 this year, and I thought that was really, really cool. Like, it was only 36 cents, but like, just for her to give me the money from her, for her piggy bank, to me in with a card was just like special.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that 36 cents is still in my pocket. I don't know if I want to get rid of it because, it was just nice.
That's cool.
Awesome. Yeah, man, for sure. So Corey goes on. He says he agrees they aren't as exciting as they were when I was a kid. I just assume grill out and hang out with my family and friends. Give me burgers and brats over just about any restaurant. Nothing wrong with a good old-fashioned cookout.
No doubt.
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all.
Had plenty of those for birthdays. So, and especially my birthday's in the summer, so towards the end of summer, so you could have cookouts with pool parties and stuff like that.
Yep, that's true.
That was always awesome. But that is it for the listener comments, and I think we've pretty much talked all we can about birthdays for sure. And just to bookend our discussion here, I have a few birthday-related songs.
Let's hear them.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Cut it before
That's
the
not
trademark.
one of them.
That's probably better.
Yes.
Happy birthday,
Mr. President.
No. So that's not one of them.
No uncomfortable moment.
Awkward. That's not one of them. So as always, you can check out the Good Morning Guys morning playlist on Spotify as well as on Apple Music. Thank you, Bernabe, so much for keeping that up for us. So our additions for this week, again, all birthday related. So the first track is Birthday from the Beatles, which I personally believe is the best birthday song ever.
How does that go? Is that today is your birthday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Today is your birthday. And then an older song. You may have to go back and listen to this because I don't know if you guys have heard it. It's a song called Happy Birthday, Sweet 16. It's from a man named Neil Sedaka. It's like 50s type music.
All right.
Next song, since birthdays are all about celebration, we got Kool and the Gang's Celebration.
Nice. Fine choice.
Celebrate good times.
Choice.
Come And then the final edition, which actually has an interesting story to it, is Stevie Wonder's Happy Birthday, which actually was written right around Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and this was the time before they had Martin Luther King Day, and he was actually using that song to campaign for a national holiday for Martin Luther King.
Cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and so...
A little tidbit of history right there.
Yeah, and...
what are you laughing about?
Sully said a tidbit.
I don't know what I'm saying.
It's a tidbit of information.
A little tidbit of...
Little pata-papa of information.
Yeah. But he campaigned for that, and like maybe a year or two after he did that, President Reagan actually pushed for that to become a legal holiday. So it happened. So that is it for the additions to the playlist for this week. I hope that those songs help you get your good morning on as well as get your birthday on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Baby. Well, does that mean that perhaps that's all for this birthday-rific bodacious bonding time we've just had?
You know what else starts with a B?
Yes.
I have nothing.
I was waiting for it. I was like, come on, tell me what else starts with a B, buddy.
Bucus Bam Bwiff. Sure.
Bucus Bam Bwiff. Okay. Batrick.
That's the thing that happened.
Bovacil.
And Bark Boucher.
Bark Boucher. He sounds like a character on a show with dogs
Saturday
that I can't
cartoon.
think of. Sure. Jeez. I'm like pound puppies. I don't. That's it's a really old cartoon.
My mouth is flapping from how far we're like nosediving right now. Like in cartoon shows where like their skin is like flapping on their face. Yeah, that's how fast we're nosediving right now.
The podcast skin on our face is flapping everywhere right now.
The podcast.
The podcast.
Hashtag podcast skin.
All right, folks. Well, if you enjoyed this birthday-rific bodacious bonding time and discussion, and bang... no, that doesn't work. And hang with us. We would appreciate... the night show. We would appreciate... Oh, gosh. Off the rails. Ooh.
And we've hit the ground.
We would appreciate some love.
This parachute is a knapsack.
Oh, Lordy, help us. We'd appreciate some love by taking a few minutes to give us a positive but honest review and rating on iTunes or whatever podcast service you use that allows such written reviews and ratings. If you've already done so, thank you so much from the bottom of our barts. If you want to go the extra mile, grab your friend and family member's cell phone or tablet, find us on their podcasting service of choice, and subscribe and leave a rating and review from them also. We would be eternally grateful. Also, remember, if you'd like to join in on future episodes or connect with us and our most lovely GMG community, check out the show notes for our info. Click that link or find our Discord server filled with our...
The Discord server?
Filled with
the Discord server.
I'm going to just power
shaking off that rust still.
Filled with a wide range of dad jokes and heartfelt conversations. If Twitter is one... I'm just bombing this. If Twitter's more your thing, our handle is at the GMG podcast, not Bat the BMG Bobcast. Bobcat.
I don't know where that's going to direct you, so don't use that.
Yeah, don't do that. It could be bad. If you want to... Oh, gosh, I'm going to lose it. If you want to practice your radio voice, you can even call us at what number?
99 GMG guys.
Thank
go!
You.
Just go!
Just do it. Call in, leave a message, ask a question, and join us on the show because we need help. Let your voice be heard. And that's all. Welp. talk at you again next week on podcast services around the world as we talk about babies biting bad. I don't know.
That's what we're talking about? Babies biting?
Yep.
Shut it down. Shut the show down.
There's nothing worse than a baby biting. Oh, man. I tried to come up with B words, and babies biting was the first one. Ronnie, we need you to come back right now. Ronnie, you're the anchor, apparently. That's all I got. We really have no idea what we're talking about next week. It's life, and we will survive it with your help. Alrighty then, Pat, the spirit of Ronnie J, who has not completely watched the 2.5 hours of the Superman movie for the past 43 weeks. Marc, also you, and our family and friends that also happen to be our listeners. Go get your good morning this week, and may God bless. Oh, man. May God bless. Guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you game, baby.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And he only has 8 minutes to figure out how this train blew up. And it's really cool because he only has 8 minutes.
Não, não precisava. E tinha muito barulho. The pastor game. We interrupt this important message with some Portuguese. Yeah, it's like, I guess you could have just muted me out probably, but
he's not.
So yes, source code.